Hello and welcome back to Let's Play Myst 2020. This is the freshly released Rime update to Myst, episode 3 of the Rime sub-series. We found Atris's secret study with a little sink to wash dishes in. I am realizing that we have not found any restrooms in Myst or Riven or Abduction. We did find a bathroom in Abduction, I think, but not in Firmament either, which surprises me. Not really. Before spending any more time with my experiments, I've decided that I must finish construction. I have brought both Cirrus and Akinar this time. The shaft is almost finished, as is the observation post. Both boys prefer inside where it is warm, protected from the cold. Neither of them shows any real desire to leave. I cannot remember the last time my son spent so much time with me in an age. Last night, Cirrus came to me with a hypothesis that may solve the crystal refraction issue entirely. His suggestion involved cutting the crystals into thin lenses before attempting to filter light through them, an idea that came to him while thinking about the properties of my eyeglasses. I can't help but smile at the idea of Cirrus watching me stare through the solution right on my nose. It's an unconventional approach, but his reasoning is sound. With Akinar's help, I believe we can repurpose some of the equipment already in the workroom to fashion these crystal lenses. Progress on the lenses is slow, as the crystals are prone to shatter if handled incorrectly. Despite the setbacks, my sons are wholly engrossed in the task, and seeing them work together gives me great hope for the future. I long for the day I can bring them to Dunny to see its beauty for themselves. I know they will prove themselves indispensable to any restoration efforts that I may undertake. Eventually, I will need to tell them about Riven, but there is much to do before that becomes a concern. The lenses have been completed. Tonight we will return to Myst Island and to Catherine. It has been too long without the warmth of either, and we all deserve a break. While there, I will need to collect some additional linking books. It brings me no joy, but the only way to test the device is to intentionally damage several of them and ensure the device can still create a focused image. We only spent a day with Catherine before returning. I was still working up the courage to ask her for it, but before I could begin speaking, she had placed the book in my hands. It was the waterlogged linking book to Riven I had thrown into the sea the moment we were back in Myst, free of my father. I knew destroying the book was a symbolic gesture, as the descriptive book still remained in Kavir, but I was young and angry. I remember Catherine swimming out to retrieve it despite my objections. "You should keep it. You may want it later," she told me. At the time, the idea upset me. Why would I want a reminder of that place? But once again, she was right. We said our goodbyes, and I returned to Rime, humbled by her foresight and love, as well as the note she had secretly tucked under the book's cover, which is presumably the one in the desk drawer that we looked at before getting the journal. It has been several days with no progress. No matter how we alternate the lenses, only the faintest, blurriest image appears. Did I damage the books too severely? Is the number of lenses too few or too many? The number of variables feels insurmountable. The boys find their own methods of encouragement. They have not given up hope, and so I must follow their example. For now, I have decided to refocus my efforts on the lights in the night sky. Although I originally thought the effect was to be an organic one, I now believe it to be electromagnetic in origin. I think the effect could be triggered somehow. It's something we'll have to try. I doubt either of my sons was expecting the amount of work it would take. It turned out to be a challenge, working above the cold waters where the wind cuts through clothing and skin like a sharp knife. Still, even amidst the dark cold, they are driven to complete the task. It's a sight of them I have not seen before. The towers are finished. The power they require is conducted directly through the saline sea, alleviating the need for wires and enabling us to locate the towers a comfortable distance away. We are close now. Tomorrow, after adjusting the voltage, we will know just how close. This morning, as we worked, I noticed Akinar rubbing his eyes and groaning under his breath. Until now, I had simply assumed it was fatigue, But then he asked if either Cirrus or I ever got headaches from how strange the light is here compared to other ages. It took a few moments for the full weight of his observation to hit me. Akinar had inadvertently noticed that the frequency of the visible light in Rime is completely unique to this age. Something so important yet so subtle that it had gone unseen thus far. Of course, the lenses could not focus the linking panels of the books. They were calibrated assuming a standard frequency range. We shall repurpose the towers to allow the manipulation of the lights in the sky and to project it through the lenses, giving us much finer control. We will need to find the correct combined frequency and construct an additional tower to transfer the light to the imaging device. But I believe that work will go quickly. We are so close now, I can feel it. And there's number 1400. Okay, so let me find something to write that down. Okay, so 1400. Another hard day, but we have corrected the final tower. I am too tired to write tonight. Tomorrow we test Akinar's theory. Akinar and Cirrus have some kind of shared secret they are keeping from me. I admit to great curiosity about what it could be, but I believe it's better to let them have something that is theirs alone. Truth be told, I'm glad to see them relying on each other more. Okay, but a concussion just might... Yeah. It has taken longer than I could have imagined, but this morning we were able to get a near-perfect view of an age through its damaged book. It's an incredible sensation, like standing in two worlds at once. It is so much more than I could have done alone. The boys are so proud and want to return to Myst Island immediately to tell their mother, which is just as well. It's time they learned about Riven. And we can go down again. And here's the crystal viewer room. Alright. And this is absolutely nothing like real Myst. So let's take a few moments to explore. This one looks like the least gameplay flavored. I'm just here for scenery, so we'll look here first. A bandsaw for cutting crystals. Numbered thingies. Slices of rocks. Polishing rig. We saw one of these in... we'll see one of these in Riven when we get there. These videos are likely to hit before the Riven series does. Alright, and then here is another note. Crystal observations. Max distance between the height of the top and bottom lenses cannot exceed 11 stops. Seems light is unable to penetrate the ink of the book if the distance is too great. Okay. So 11 stops. Or steps. No two sequential lenses can have the matching iris. Each lens's color frequency must be unique. To compensate for its extreme refraction, any lens set to use the highest frequency color must also use the smallest iris. The lens sits between two small iris lenses that must be equal in distance to both. Lens frequency must decrease, and that's scratched out, in order as they get closer to the book. Can increase or decrease, but they must do so in order. Even with the alteration of the base crystal shape into a flat lens, the laws of physics cannot be circumvented. Insert Montgomery Scott type quote And we can't tinker with this like we can in Exile. And here is the crystal viewer. We have Riven. We have Mechanical. Selenitic. Blank. Never been to that age. Myst. Channelwood. Stone Ship. Riven. Oh, that's where we started. Alright. I'm going to guess these buttons here change books. And this lever here probably starts the thing, but we have to do something outside first. Okay, that is a dial where we can pick color. And that is a distance. Okay, so let's table this discussion. And we're going to go back upstairs to the control panel and get some light going. And we're also going to go back and take a look at those two journals and see which books Cirrus and Achenar want to use. Okay, we have to hit the red button, which is over here now, to rotate around to the control panel. And we have to find some combination that adds it to 1400. So we're close here. Let's set this to 840. And turn on the lights. Alright. And that worked the same way as it did in okay. So I have on my other screen here, it looks like Achenar's journal. And he wanted to see Channelwood. So we're going to go find the Channelwood book, which is that one. So, Riven. Actually, let's go back to Riven. And see if this thing lights up off the bat. Here, off the bat here. And, not really. Okay. Okay, so I want to note these settings here. The top one is purple. 20 green. At 16 blue, at 11 white, at 5. I'm going to take a screenshot. And so I can remember these settings. So we're going to find Channelwood here. And we want, I want a teal. At 12. So let's do the numbers first. 2, 6, 9, and my microphone's right in the way. Give me a moment here. And 12. Okay. Teal, then it wants something pretty deep blue. Then I want something orange. Is that orange enough? That's as close as we've got to orange, and then white. And then if we pull the lever, we'll see how much it's supposed to work. Poorly. Oh, you're also supposed to adjust these. All the way open, and this one is middle. Then we can fire it. All right. Channel wood. Oop, too close. It's like the dome in Abduction. If you get too close to the edge, the illusion changes, or the image changes. But yes, this is very much channel wood. If we go to Cirrus's, which one would Cirrus like? Selenitic? Stone ship. Actually, let's go figure out which one Cirrus likes. Give me a moment here. Okay, so Cirrus wants to see Stone Ship. And they had the combination for Riven, but it's dripping onto the table, and we've lost part of the combination for Riven. Alright, but let's see if we can find the Stone Ship combination, which is this book here. And that makes all the beautiful channel wood go away. And we need to go with, okay, so we start at the bottom. And we're going to go with 1, 4, 7, 10. Wide open because it doesn't do anything else. 7 is in the middle. Position 4 is the tiny, and 1 is in the middle. And we have teal, purple, no, that one's purple. This one is blue, and the top one is yellow. And then we'll see if that is Stone Ship. Not quite, because that's a 0, not a 1. And cool, it's a static image. There's no water moving. So that's an interesting condition. So we can't necessarily see people on there. And one of the journal sources said that there was something attached to the balcony, to the railing, in Stone Ship, which we should probably go look at here once I finish in Rime. But now it's time to see if we can decipher the ribbon thing. And what we have is something greater than 12. I'll crank it all the way to the top. The second one is at position 12. It is blue. And I don't know anything about the iris. The next one down is middle iris, with no idea where it lives, except it's north of 4. And this top one is yellow and blue. The other ones we don't know. Okay, so out here are the instructions for solving the thing. The laws of physics. Let me take a screenshot of this and throw that on top of OBS, which is one of the advantages of having 3 monitors for such games. But okay. So maximum distance cannot exceed 11 stops. So we know there's a 4 on the bottom. Alright. 11 plus 4 is 15. So this stop has to be under 15. To allow for needed refraction, no 2 sequential lenses can have a matching iris size. So this one is not big or there, so we are going here. And the one on the bottom can also not be in the middle. So we're going to go small there. So it has to be 15 because it won't go any lower, because it will run into the 12, which we know is fixed, and it can't be any higher because it can't be more than 11 from 4. To compensate for its extreme refraction, any lens set to use the highest color frequency must also use the smallest iris. If a lens sits between 2 small iris lenses, it must be equal in distance to both. Can I do that with this? Yes, I can park it at 8. Lens frequency must decrease in order as they get closer to the book. Can increase or decrease, but they must do so in order. Even with the alteration of the base crystal shape into a flat lens, the lens is just... So I guess that means that everything has to be a single step. So let's just see what this does. And we'll select the ribbon book. Turn this on and see that see the beautiful. Well, it's close, but not really. Crystals, crystals. Blue wants to be at 10. With a small iris. Do I have one at 10? Do I have one for 12? 7 or 4 wants to be white. Maybe? Alright, so I am grasping at straws here, so what we're going to do is we're going to take a break, and when I come back I will have the Riven combination, whether it's from solving it or from looking it up. And I found the combination for Riven. Had to go back upstairs and find the color frequencies, but we come out here and we find we are in the middle of the Rivenese village. But if you've only played the original Riven from 1995 or 1996, that's different. And that's in a different place. If we're too close to the screen, touching the LCD makes it flicker or something. Or sticking your head through the monitor breaks it. But yeah. This is Riven. That is different than the original game. So we'll just have to wait and see what's happening in the next series, which will be upcoming as soon as I decide if I want to keep this my recording I currently have, or if I'm going to restart from scratch again. We'll see what happens, but stay tuned for that. And this is the extent of what we can really do in the Rime age. But we need to go up and take another look at Cirrus's journal. Turn the lights off and show you else something cool. While I was trying to mess with the Riven combination, I came up here and looked at that. That could be an animated wallpaper for your Apple systems. Can do animated wallpapers like animated screensavers like that. That would be a pretty cool one. So cyan. I'd love to see that. Okay. So, turn the elevator around. And we're going to go ahead and shut the lights off. We are aligned for access to the front room. Ladders. Cirrus. Anyway. So reassuring to see that Cirrus wasn't always a monster. And that he's... Okay. I want to assume that this thing will shut off once, so we don't have to shut it off when we leave, just for saving energy. So, we'll take that as read. And then we're going to find the Myst linking book. Honestly, Probably Atris's journal. Something says something about an experimenting somewhere. Okay, so we'll just go to Stone Ship and see if there's anything different there. If not, there will be a jump cut back to the library on Myst for a closing. But let's just take a walk here. I want to reread this note too and see what I missed. It's saying here. Okay. So, yeah, I don't... trying to speculate on how old they would have been at that point. We don't know how much of a gap there is between Cirrus and Akinar. But, I can see that Cirrus is... Cirrus, honestly. Were we able to go up here in the old game? I don't think we could in the original. Don't remember coming up here in this edition. It has been a couple years since I was in here, literally. I don't see anything different about that. But that has been Rime. And that's it for Myst 2020. Once again. That Rime was sufficiently different from the way it worked in Real Myst. And that is the only major change I can think of between this game and Real Myst, is the Rime section. Everything else is a very faithful interpretation of the original 1993 game, and Rime is very different. Okay, so what's next? So next up is Riven. I just need to decide if I'm going to continue using and editing this playthrough. I've already got recorded and ready to go. But I did something out of sequence and trying to fix that in editing, and I'm not sure if I want to trust that and keep it, or if I need to just redo it from scratch again. We will see about that. In the meantime, thanks for watching, and tune in next time for some, I think, Riven. Thanks.